Oh. Whew. Well, hello to you all from half a world away, and a couple days back in time. It's Wednesday, the 20th, full moon, and the choo-choo train just tooted its horn, and behind me is the River Dart, which is running really fast and quite high at the moment. It's flooded, which I suppose is appropriate, considering I'm pretty flooded with emotions, as I imagine many of you are. And due to the circumstances, this is the medium with which I'm connecting with you all, so I'm gonna do the best I can. This is all so surreal. And it has been surreal since that Sunday in February when we were driving through rural England, and I got a video call from Nancy and Corey, the three of us, where we had the just most unimaginable call, one no one wants to have. And it's been surreal since 2019, when I first learned that our pops had multiple myeloma. And, you know, we've just been tumbling through trauma and threat and hope and despair, and then loss. And now, ideally, grieving and healing. Oh, my relationship with my dad was complicated. Just no other way to put it. And it would be dishonest and dishonorable to pretend that as grown men we, had an easy time with each other. Because most of the time we really didn't. That is until recently, in these last couple of years. And when he got sick and we came to a level of peace and acceptance, and it was this new territory for us, and I'm just so grateful, utterly grateful for that now. My dad was my hero growing up. I mean, just a living legend in my eyes, in my childhood eyes. He was the soccer coach and on the radio, and just so witty and charming, and I just have all these fond memories, and sitting down in the downstairs with him on a dictaphone, meticulously cataloging his albums, while some sweet tones were coming through the hi-fi, and some old album in that big old speaker set we had when I was a kid. And his just sweet, comforting voice as he taught me about music and sport and so much about the world, and that dry wit. Oh, he was larger than life. He really was. All my friends thought I had the coolest dad. And really he was. He was a great coach and mentor and father. And I'm just so grateful for that. And really, so much of the father I am is because of the person and father he was to me. And the best way I know to honor him and the lineage before him is to be the best dad that I can be, with my own kids and give them the opportunity to move forward with all the gifts and challenges that we carry from before us as well. And I will do my best to share all the stories and fond memories I can about him. One that comes to mind with this river is the Boundary Waters canoe area. This one trip he and I took our dog Charlie, and we were out all day canoeing and, portaging between rivers and the streams and tributaries, and it was just awesome day. Perfect day. Probably saw a bear or a moose or both. I don't know, all of it. It was just glorious. Caught a couple fish. And just as we were getting back to shore, late in the day, looking for a fire, looking forward to cooking up some of those fish, Charlie, dog, recognizes the shore where we're camping and got so excited he just starts rocking the canoe, and before we know it, the two of us, my dad and I, just tipped over into the river, cold ass river, and somehow Charlie dog and the canoe stayed upright. Meanwhile, the two of us were freezing cold, and we, like I said, we're close enough to shore that we just pulled it to the shore and dried it off, and Charlie just wagged his tail, dry as a bone, and it's good times. That's just one of many, many, many memories with him. And I dream about him, and I still have conversations with him sometimes, and sometimes his point of view is helpful still. And sometimes I still struggle with him, even in memory. But it is my belief that it all disappears. It all washes away when we transition. And I imagine and feel him to be wholly just light and love and laughter and humor now. and Dad, Pops, I love you, and I will laugh with you in memory, and I will continue to learn with you and carry you with me. Your stories, your triumphs, your sorrows, your light and your shadows for all of my life. And I will speak and sing with a voice as pure and true as I can muster, so that I may pass your warm tones on to the generations to come. I will always love you. Thank you all. Thank you.